to the whiteboard and show you there's one formula that I really want you to snuggle up to and become best buddies with. Please write this down in your notes because it's the only one of its kind that you need to care about at all, period. And that's just the equation that x squared minus y squared is equal to two quantities times each other, x plus y times x minus y. And you can see just by our rules of multiplication, okay, the only way you're going to get negative y squared over here is if you're multiplying positive y times negative y. Positive times positive would give you a positive y, and negative times a negative would also give you negative y. So that's the surest way to remember why it's x squared minus y squared, and it's plus y times negative y. And this is, so what, a binary function. And it's, again, the only one of its kind, but you'll probably see 2 or 3 questions on the test that deal with this formula in one way or another. And we'll look at least 2 different problems here this evening that involve this. So it's not that hard to memorize this, and it's the only one of its kind. So I don't have a problem asking you to just learn this, have this on the tip of your tongue at all times, because it's going to be really useful. And again, you get this because you have x times x gives you x squared, and y plus y times negative y gives you negative y squared. So not much to that. Okay. Can I see a show of hands? How many of you can hear me? Okay, please keep them up. Again, if you can hear me, please raise your hand. Okay, that leaves Frank and Alex, who I'm not sure why can't hear me. Could everybody give me just a second? I need to text something to Alex and see if maybe he's having a hardware problem. Okay, let me try this. Alex, are you there? You may need to press the control button, but can you hear me, Alex? Okay. Okay, well, I think maybe that's taken care of. Okay, so this equation is going to be all kinds of useful to you. It actually comes up in this first data sufficiency question, but we'll come back to this in a little bit. Of course, everybody remembers the most important thing about algebra is simply balancing equations. And so you know that if you have x plus 2 equals y, Of course, you can move things around in the equation any way you choose to. And I've always believed the best way to do this is to isolate a variable on the left-hand side and then put everything else in the right. And so you can easily do that with this. You subtract 2 from both sides, then you get x plus 0 is just equal to x, and you get y, subtract 2, you get y minus 2. That way now I've got something I can work with. I've got x is equal to y minus 2. Of course, you could also argue before you had something you could work with, y equals x plus 2. It's whichever way you care to look at it. You can do anything you want to an equation as long as you do exactly the same thing to both sides, the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the equal sign. So if you subtract 2 from both sides, you can do that. If you want to add 2 to both sides, you can do that. If you want to divide both sides by 2, you can do that. Anything you want to do, just with a goal of getting down to just one variable is equal to some quantity. That's really at the heart of everything that is good and wonderful about algebra.